Hey everybody, I'm back to talk a little bit more about some health and wellness tips. And today I'm going to bring to you some things that I've taught in previous workshops and with previous classes. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a yoga and meditation teacher, and I'm also an acupuncture school. So whenever I teach anything about health and wellness, it comes from a background of a little bit of Western medicine, a little bit of Ayurveda, and a little bit of Chinese medicine. Because all of these things can blend together to make some really beautiful self-healing and self-care practices. So today what I'm going to continue with is the subject matter of keeping our lungs healthy. And one of the things that Chinese medicine holds forth about the lungs is that they governs the skin, and it governs our external connection to the earth, to the world. So it's literally the exterior management of our energy. So we're taking in things through our breath constantly. And as such, we have to make sure that our lung energy is kept full and robust so that it can bolster us and provide us with the immunity that we need to stay strong. The lungs are connected to our immune function because, most people aren't aware of this, but most of our metabolic wastes and our toxins are expelled through the lungs by exhalation. And so the deeper we breathe and the more that we can expel, we're just cleaning out the blood and our whole entire system at a very basic level. So the other ways that we clear out toxins and metabolic waste are through excretion, so pooping and peeing, sweating and crying. Because the lungs govern the exterior, they are considered to be in charge of the skin. And so people who practice yoga and people who practice breath work consistently will also tend to have very clear and healthy and shining skin. So one of the things I'd like to share with you today is a self-care technique that can help you strengthen your lung energy and also strengthen your skin, nourish the skin, keep the skin healthy, because the lungs and the skin have a reciprocal relationship. So whatever you do that benefits one is going to have an impact on the other. And so the thing that I'd like to talk to you about is dry brushing. And this is something that you might have seen. A lot of people think that this is a shower brush. This is not a shower brush. The bristles are not quite as stiff. This is meant to be used only dry. This is my favorite one. It's got a little bit of an angle to the handle, so you can reach back and really get kind of every part of your body that you need to. And the dry brush is meant to be used on your entire body, head to toe. And the best time to do it is first thing in the morning before you even take a shower or a bath. And you want to start at the tips of your fingers or the tips of your toes and work in toward the center. But the very first place to start is on the abdomen. So we want to brush in the direction of the colon, the descending colon first, and then across the transverse colon, and then up the right side for the ascending colon. And then big circles. So this is going to help your digestive system function properly, because everybody knows that the best way to start the day is with a giant poop. So if you dry brush your abdomen in the proper direction, that is clockwise, down on the left, across right to left, and then up from the bottom right hip up, and then a big circle in that whole direction. That is going to really facilitate the natural peristaltic motion of your large intestine, and it's also going to activate the lymphatic movement in your body. Now, the lymph system is incredibly important. It's one of the most overlooked aspects of our health and our well-being, and Western medicine really doesn't talk much about it or deal with it until you end up with a cancer node in your lymph gland, and then they just take all of them out. And the bottom line is that the lymph system is the final word for cleaning the body out. It is an important part of our immune system, and it's grossly overlooked. So this dry brushing technique is going to allow you to directly nourish your lymphatic flow first thing in the morning. And actually, you can do dry brushing anytime that you want, but the first thing in the morning is the best time to start. So the thing I want to focus on today is nourishing our lung energy. In a previous episode, a previous video you can look at, I talked a little bit about some self-massage techniques. Right over here, over the master lung point, the acupuncture points. There's two very important ones right here. And if we can gently massage and soften up any accumulations and any tight tissue in this area, it helps strengthen the lungs. And it also helps us just breathe better, because all of these pectoral muscles tend to get really tight and clenched, and it actually restricts our ability to breathe deeply. So pairing that kind of self-massage with dry brushing is really going to help your lung function as well as your overall lymphatic function. So one of the things I like to do after I've done the big parts of my body is I want to come up, and you want to definitely do your face and your neck and your throat. This is incredibly important because when people start to get sick, most of us feel it up in here somewhere. We get tightness in the chest, we get a sore throat, we get a lump, we get a nodule, we start to feel congested. And this whole area of the body really, really needs to be nourished on a daily basis in order to stay healthy. So one of the things that I have in my little toolkit, this is actually a shower brush that broke in half. It got really old and it just cracked. And I saved it because this allows me to do dry brushing on my face, and I can get into all of the little angles and the curves. And so the way that you want to approach it, you can use a big brush too. We always want to start coming from the center and just smoothing out this area. And before I go any further, I just want to offer to you, some of us have really dry skin. And the way that you want to alleviate that is by taking some pure coconut oil, just taking a tiny little bit of it, okay, not a lot, about that much. You're gonna take it and you're just gonna warm it up really, really well in the hands so that it just makes a very, very thin layer and it's all nice and warm. You're just gonna take it and you're just gonna gently smooth it over your face. Just a super light little layer, okay? Now don't worry, this is not gonna clog you up. What this is gonna do is prevent you from over exfoliating the skin, and you're gonna wash your face or jump in the shower right after this. So what it's gonna do is it's going to preserve the lipid layer, which is often stripped off by all of these chemicals that we put on our skin. Most of the soaps that people use and most of the skin products that people use have a lot of really nasty toxins. And it's just because they're marketed to us that we end up buying them, and then we wonder why we have all of these continued skin problems. So using pure coconut oil is the best way to start. And then you're just gonna start with some gentle brushing motions. And we're gonna come all the way across here, way out to the corner of the shoulder, because this is all the main, like the command point for the lung energy. And you're gonna notice that it feels really good. You wanna just go really gently. I'm not brushing hard. I'm just very, very gently brushing and kind of buffing the skin. And you're gonna notice that the skin starts to pink up, and that's great. That means we're getting a lot of microcirculation. You know, the skin has tiny little capillaries for its blood flow supply. And because it is the most exterior part of our body, it is literally the last layer to get nutrified by fresh blood and oxygen. So the more that we can help this along with things like dry brushing and self-massage, the healthier our skin is going to be. And one other benefit of dry brushing is that if you do this over your joints and any place that you have pain in your body, it is incredibly powerful for removing pain. I recommend this to all of my clients who have arthritis. So you can do this on your wrist, on your hands. I have a lot of issues with my wrist and my thumb. I'm a massage therapist, so this joint area always gets really sore. On the hips, on the ankles, the low back, anywhere that you have joint pain. This is going to be flushing out the stagnant lymph. And the lymph is where all of the toxins accumulate, and when those toxins accumulate in the joint spaces, this is where the pain and the inflammation comes from. So we're doing that across the layer of the skin and also the joints. And so I'm just making some very gentle little circular motions. And then I'm gonna just switch to my small brush. And so we're just coming down, just brushing and buffing the face. I do my lips, very, very gently around the orbits of the eyes. Just be careful around the eyes. But you know, this is a really great anti-aging practice because the more fresh blood that we have coming to the skin, the more moisture we have coming to the skin, the more fresh nutrients, and we're draining out and flushing out the toxins that accumulate at the micro level in all of these layers of the skin. And you're gonna notice that your skin, after you do this, you're just gonna look really young and fresh and vibrant. And I want you to continue this all the way down the neck. So think about the way that cats tend to themselves. They take their paw and they lick and they go like this, right? You know why? Because it feels great. Cats are the prime example of self-care. They take lots of naps, they groom themselves constantly, and they always find the best possible places to sleep. And they don't apologize for it. So as you do this, I'd like for you to also consider offering just a loving thought to yourself, a self-prayer. Just tell yourself something kind. Tell yourself, acknowledge your own beauty, acknowledge your own health and wellness. Now, the reason we're coming down the neck and the throat into the chest is because this area is underneath. You have this very, very thin, broad muscle and layer of fascia. The platysma is this big muscle that goes under all of this. And most of us are hunched over typing on phones, and we're driving cars, and we're typing on keyboards all the time. And so we end up like this. You don't realize it. But this is where all of these wrinkles in the neck and the forward fold of the shoulders come from. So when we're smoothing this out and stretching the neck, you're allowing this area to soften and smooth out. And you're gonna notice, if you do this consistently, that your neck and your throat and your face and your chest start to look younger. So this is one of my secret weapons to not looking my age. For those of you that are curious, I'm gonna be 50 this summer. And, you know, I don't look 50. That's not an accident. And, you know, there's no magic to this. This is just simple self-care. This is just your willingness to invest 15 minutes, or not even that long, 5 to 10 minutes of your morning doing something that is just purely an act of self-care and self-love. And you're not going to believe how much clearer and brighter you feel. This could even replace your morning coffee. Because what do we want to feel in the morning? We want to feel clear and bright and awake and alert and balanced and whole. So this is my offering to you, is to learn the dry brushing technique. And I'm sure there's lots of other videos out there. This one I got, you can find this on Amazon, anywhere from like $8 to $12. And my first one lasted me about 12 years. I only just recently replaced it because I had literally worn the bristles down so much that it just, you know, it wasn't quite as effective as it was. So enjoy your dry brushing. Remember the self-massage techniques. Remember to just be as good to yourself as possible. This is the holiest part of our body, the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart. These are the upper realms. And the more that we can nourish these high vibration energy centers, you are automatically boosting your immunity, because viruses and bacteria, they have a very low vibration. So anything that you can do to feel better, to feel whole, to feel connected to the universe, to feel loving and appreciative, those are your best defenses. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you're taking really good care of yourself. Don't watch the news so much. Get outside, breathe some fresh air, and enjoy some sunshine. Namaste.